Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here with Keith Harris. This man inspires me so much. He's not only an actor, but a director. I've learned so much from him. So I'm really excited.
I'm in the hot seat.
He's in the hot seat. So I got you guys asked some questions because this is really useful information to hear from not only a successful actor, but also a director. He knows a ton about the industry. How long have you been in the industry now?
Oh, gosh. I started out, ever since college. So, we didn't have the internet when I started out. So, it was a little, it was not quite as in your face, I guess, easy. It was harder access earlier on. So, yeah. But I mean, it's been 25 plus years. Yeah, so I've been doing it for a minute.
It's gotten so much easier with online submissions and not printed headshots that you bring in. Like that's insane.
Yeah, so just a little piece of history, acting history, right? So early on, what we would do is, you'd get the call, hey, you have an audition. You'd hop in the car, you'd drive your 3.5 hours to Wilmington, you'd spend your 30 minutes, if that, and then you'd hop back in your car and drive back. So, you're spending, and then you get home, and then you get the phone call, hey, you have a call back tomorrow. You have a call back, yeah. So, so the advent of online submissions and online profiles and self-tapes is such a money saver for actors starting out in this business.
Yes.
It's huge.
Yes. So, speaking of auditions, what can an actor do, in your opinion, to really stand out more than all the other actors? Because they all do the same scene.
Right. So, good question. Strong point of view and strong choices. Now, when I say those things, I don't mean this. A lot of young actors think when they make a strong choice, it's got to be big and it's got to be, no. On camera, less is more. But it still has to be a strong point of view. Like if I say to you, you want some pizza? And you go, yeah. And then I say, it's anchovy pizza. Nah, yeah, I'm good, right? There's a response, right, to that. Those kind of visceral, connected choices help. A lot of times what you can do is you come up with your top 5 choices and then take those top 5 choices and throw them out and come up with 5 more, because more likely than not, everybody else is going to be coming at least 3.
I didn't even think of that. That's really smart.
At least 3 of those same choices. So take those, throw them out, come up with more. Dig deeper. Always dig deeper.
I like that. Yeah. That's smart. I have never heard that before. So you're an actor and director. What do you find more challenging? Because I think you're naturally gifted in both. But for you personally? Well,
I do. I came to the conclusion that I was more of I'm a storyteller, right? I love acting. Acting is my first love. I knew I wanted to be an actor when I was 9, and that never changed. But when I got into it, I realized that it's show business, and business is the bigger word. So that's when I actually started writing, and then from writing, I got a pile of scripts and was like, well, nobody's helping me make these things, so I guess I got to figure that out too. And that's when I started producing. Much rather direct and act than produce and act, because it's at least on the same side of the brain. Right? Producing, you gotta get into your character over here, and then all of a sudden, the car didn't show up, and we need a tow truck to go get whatever and get it here, and so that can be a headache. But I like both.
Yes.
That's a long-winded way of saying I like both.
So, piggybacking off of that, a lot of people want to know, how hard is it to make an industry? So, if it tells you anything, Keith went all the way into directing and producing, and that's why he's made it so far, because he was a go-getter.
Right.
So
here's something to think about. Yes. So there is a buyer's market and a seller's market.
Yes.
All right? I've told you this, right? There's a buyer's market and a seller's market. A buyer's market is, let's see, hold on, let me make sure I have them right. The seller's market is like, the iPhone, right? They can charge what they want to for the iPhone because everybody wants it and everybody's going to go after it. A buyer's market is there's a glut of product on the market, and buyers can be as particular as they want to be about what they get. Acting is a buyer's market. So everybody and their brother wants to do it or thinks they can do it. They don't realize how, what it takes to do it. So when producers, you got to think about this from a business standpoint. If I am a producer and I'm going to cast a part that has 3 lines, all right, great. It's just 3 lines, but here's what's happening behind the scenes. I am finding you. If I am producing in Atlanta and you're in North Carolina, if I decide to use you, then I have to pay for your travel. I have to pay for a hotel for you. I have to pay for food for you, plus the day rate there and back. It's not just, hey, come to set, and then all this other stuff. There's all these other pieces of money that have to fly around in order for you to come down and say your 3 lines. So when you say your 3 lines, I better not have to spend 16 takes on you. So anyway, yes. So it's definitely a buyer's market. So that's why I started writing and started doing other things, because I realized, hey, I can write myself something, but if not, then I actually have a product that I can potentially sell.
Exactly.
Too. So, if they want to take it and just run with it without me, I've still got a finished something that is, sellable. So, you got to figure out, you are president and CEO of You Inc., and you have to figure out how to keep your pipeline full. And that means, what I mean by that is how to continue being paid. So there's a reason why it's a cliche that actors are waiters.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's, you can get the job fairly easy. It pays cash money, and it really does pay off. When I first went out to LA, I spent a year going, I'm not going to be that. I'm not going to be the stereotype. I'm not going to be I'm an actor. You want fries with that? After about a year, I sucked it up. Went and got the weight gig. I went and got the weight gig, and it paid off. So I was able to spend my days, submitting and going to auditions and doing that kind of thing. So, I highly recommend it.
Stereotype for a reason.
That's right.
So when you first started, acting, did you doubt yourself? Like doubt that you'd be able to do that for the rest of your life? Or were you like, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to do it?
It was a decision for me, again, when I was 9, that I knew I wanted to be an actor. And it never changed. And there was I forget who the actor was. But anyway, he basically said, you're going to hear what's your backup plan, right? What's your backup plan, right? His position was, if I have a backup plan, I'm going to use it. So I don't have a backup plan, right? It's, storm the castle and, take the castle or not,
You're all
right?
in.
Now, what that meant to me when I was in high school and early college was, ultimately becoming Tom Cruise or, something of that nature, right? What it truly means is to be successful and love what you do and make money at it, right? Somebody said, there was an architect friend of mine who said, find what you would do for free. And do that.
You'll never feel like you're working.
And you'll never feel like you're working. But you do have, there is an ebb and a flow. You're basically self-employed.
Yeah.
And you have to understand basic marketing. You have to understand how to keep your books. You have to understand a lot of things actors don't want to spend the time on, right? Because it's not creative, right?
Yeah.
You have to develop the other side of the brain to manage being self-employed.
Yeah. So a lot of people ask questions about agencies and getting an agent. So how did you find the agency that's right for you?
So my first agency, it is a networking community. People know people. So my first agent, I was at Western Carolina, and my acting teacher at Western was with JTA Talent in Charlotte. He sent me there, and I auditioned for them, and they signed me. And then I moved. Then I did a year of children's theater out of Missoula, Montana, and then I came back and I was like, "Hey, I'm back." LA is a different game. I literally, you'll hear at times, like for instance in Atlanta right now, my agent, I've sent some folks to my agent in Atlanta, and they aren't taking anyone that's not in Atlanta anymore, just because the workload is so big. And
my agency completely stopped taking submissions altogether.
Yeah,
it's
and there's some that have done that, so it's crazy. But like in LA, you'll also get things like this. Like I walked into this one meeting and I gave him my headshot, and he took a look at it and flipped it over on the back and looked back at me. He was like, "Yeah, I got 5 of you." And I was like, "I'm sorry. What? You don't have 5 of me. You've never met me, right?" But one of the things that we do in the beginner class here now is make you fill out a stereotype sheet, because you are going to you're put into a box.
Yeah.
Or,
it's unavoidable. It's gonna happen.
Whether you like it or not, you're put into a box. And the more you know what your type is, the more
you take advantage of it.
Yeah, the more you're gonna. There was a friend of mine who, she called herself short round girl. She was like 5 foot nothing and and plump, and she knew it, and
she embraced it.
And she totally embraced it. She moved out to LA, and she moved out there, and within 4 months she booked an Alanis Morissette video, and then after that she booked like 3 or 4 Tiger Woods Buick commercials and a Money Store commercial, and she had a quirky type that people loved, and they started casting her right and left. So it's actually probably easier nowadays to be cast if you're not a quote-unquote leading male or female, right?
Yeah, that's completely. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on college?
Now,
a lot of people wanted to know that.
Yeah. So I'm a mixed bag. I have my undergrad degree in radio and television production and theater, and I have my Master of Fine Arts, which is a 3-year terminal degree in acting with a concentration in film. Got that at UNCG. And I am hands down a better actor for having gone through that process. That said, strong class with good teachers is the important thing. Now, will a degree, there's a lot of people that fall by the wayside after they start going at it for a minute, and they do it, and they're not getting cast, and they're not doing this, and they get disenfranchised, and they just go do something else, right?
Yeah.
I know a lot of fantastic actors that have done that.
It's not all about talent, too.
It's not. So when you approach the business, you have to be able to adjust. As long as you're in training, you have to train. You have to understand the craft in order to be better. Now, are there people out there that can, barely act their way out of plastic bag and are still getting cast like wildfire. Yeah. But that's the business.
Some people
Yes.
don't live in areas with acting classes,
Mhm.
so there are online options you can talk about. They do online options here where Keith is working, or they're planning on starting that.
No, we do have some in place already, but
Okay.
we're talking about, that's more like one-on-one sessions and things like that, but we are talking about potentially starting a cyber pass to a couple of classes. So it would be, you would be able to come in and sit in. You obviously couldn't, necessarily participate. You could get the materials and stuff that we're working on and work on at home, kind of watch class. That's a possibility.
And classes are important because you can put them on your resume, and if you don't have any experience, agents definitely want you in classes, and that gives you something to have on your resume. So what is your advice for kids who want to act? So I know you want to act as a kid, but what if your parents aren't supportive? Because I've been blessed with parents that'll drive me all over to make it possible, but some kids aren't as lucky.
Yes, that's true. So in that scenario, that was my scenario. Like I had 2 working parents, and again pre-internet, and so you had to drive around all over the place and do all that stuff. My parents were not that parent, and I just had to do. There's community theater, there's probably theater at church, there's probably skits, there's probably do anything and everything you can get your hands on. If you can do community theater, the Christmas pageant, if you can do anything. So for kids in a small town, just do your community theater, do whatever you can get your hands on, start writing your own skits, grab your phone, stick it on a little tripod and start doing stuff. I would caution against maybe putting that early stuff up on YouTube, even though you think it's super cool and great, right? Right?
Yeah.
So maybe keep the first few things to yourself, right? But very first script I wrote, I was writing it. It was like, this is gonna change cinema forever, yes! And it was just god awful.
I've had my fair share. Keith sees my stuff.
Yeah.
It's a learning experience.
Yeah, it is. Everything's a learning experience. I would just say, learn in private to start. I was looking up this kid, I don't even know why. I was casting something, I don't remember, but I saw this guy, and he had a demo reel. I was like, click. I clicked on it, and it was this janky little shot. The dude walked out in his underwear and sat down on a couch and did this god-awful monologue.
It's on his IMDb?
It's on his IMDb. It was on his IMDb.
Better just have nothing.
And it is absolutely better. But yeah, because that is the first impression. I see that, and I go, wowzer. Okay, click, next.
No.
When you're putting something up, make sure it's going to be quality. And I can help with that too.
There you go. Yeah, Keith can film demo reels. My demo reel, Keith filmed. I have a video on it. I'll have it linked down below. I definitely recommend that because you don't want that type of stuff.
And that's actually one of the reasons why I started doing it's called Southeast Show Reels. That's one of the reasons why I started doing it, because that's always the hardest part. A demo footage or a scene or something like that shows that you have some experience on set and know somewhat about camera awareness, and shows your ability in a scene that doesn't look like, hey, I shot this in my bedroom, or this is a monologue from acting class, right?
Yeah.
Will put you a step ahead.
My agent was so happy with it. She was like, this is going to help you so insanely much. So definitely want to look into it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what are some things that actors do on set that really annoy directors? Like, what are some of your things that you're like,
Not being prepared. I mean, that's the baseline. show up, know your lines, hit your mark, and you're going to be fine. Uber needy actors, like, how was that? You know, what do you need?
Yeah.
More times than not, right? If that director doesn't say anything to you, you're doing fine.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good thing. If they come over, they might want something different. It's not necessarily a bad thing. You don't need to be coddled on set. All right, show up, show your lines, say your lines, hit your marks. That's the 3 basics.
What was your favorite part about being on The Walking Dead?
Oh gosh, being on The Walking Dead.
How long did you film it for, too?
So I came in episode 11 of season 6 and was killed off episode 11 of season 8.
Oh, wow.
I was only in the 1 episode in season 6. I was in, I don't know, 2 or 3 in season 7. They were setting up the Alexandria Safe Zone and the junk people and the ocean people and the hilltop people, and like there was like 5 or 6 factions that were being developed during that season. So every once in a while I would show up and be like, "Hey, I'm Maggie's doctor. Hey, how you doing? Remember me?" And then in season 8 I had, I don't know, 4 or 5 episodes. Was killed off in episode 11.
So, last question.
Mm-hmm.
What's one piece of advice you'd give an actor just starting out?
Get in class. I mean, really get in class, because that's, at the end of the day, that's going to, you need good headshots.
Yeah.
And almost as important nowadays, especially with online profiles and that kind of stuff, are, seeing some sort of footage that doesn't look like you're taking a monologue from acting class.
Yeah.
And class, getting in class and understanding the basics of, being on set, what a mark is, how to hit your mark, what to do, say your mark, say your lines, say your marks, hit your mark, say your lines, and understanding how to act, understanding the craft of how to approach something that's on paper and channeling it through your body to bring it to life. And there's a ton of things online. There's a Larry Moss class online that you could watch. You could pull up. There's classes, online classes and things here at In Studio. Get in class.
Yes. And you feel way more confident on set once you've been in class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like way more confident. Otherwise, you're going to feel a lot more lost.
Yeah, because, they say, great jazz musicians don't play by the rules, right? But they understand how to break the rules because they learned the rules and were trained in the rules, right? So that's where you have to start. You have to understand the theory before you can break the theory. Kilo.
All right, thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Keith, for doing this.
I had a fantastic time. Thank you for all the questions, and keep them coming.
Really great advice. Like, seriously. So I'll have all of his stuff linked down below. Be sure to check it out. And hopefully Keith and I will work on more stuff in the future that you guys will see. But check it next time.
Cool.